Loading. All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Rise and Elevate with your podcast host, Tom Fox, and myself, Devon Pinches. Today's episode is a little bit different, and we're super excited to bring it to you guys. Tom will dive into that momentarily. But I wanted to start off today with, a motivational quote to really get us started. And one of my bosses, actually, Carrie Fitzpatrick, shared this with me. And I think it's incredibly fitting for what we're about to discuss. So the quote goes something like this: The rule of 100. If you spend 100 hours a year in any discipline, which is only 18 minutes a day, you will be better than 95% of the world in that discipline. Consistency is key. And I love this quote because it really emphasizes the power of consistency and dedication in mastering any skill. It's a reminder that sustained focused effort over time leads to significant improvement, and it's proof that small daily actions can add up to extraordinary results. So with that being said, Tom, I'm so excited to be here with you today, and I would love for you to share with everyone really the purpose of this podcast.
Sure. Well, first of all, good afternoon. And I love that quote as well. I've heard it many times.
Yes,
And I love that because every little bit matters.
absolutely.
Right. So good afternoon, everyone. This is our third podcast. Devon and
Woo!
I came up with this idea a short while ago and we made it a reality. And
Yes,
now we've committed to doing it every month.
yes,
And Rise and Elevate is dedicated to sharing the message of failures and successes. But those failures don't have to be negatives, they can be additives. They can be the lessons that we learn that help us to grow and become more. So we want everyone else to rise and elevate with us. And as the line that kind of has become the basis for me in this podcast is a rising tide lifts all ships. So, Devon, we decided today, after now having a couple of fantastic guests,
yes,
to share a little bit about you and I so that we have a little bit more body
yes.
for us to share, a little bit for us to share about some of the things that have gotten us to where we are today. So we have learned that through the mortgage world, there's ups and downs. Through life, there are ups and downs. There are challenges. We face health issues. We face family issues, work issues.
Yes.
But what I've chosen to do is look at the solutions and not just on the problems, right? They talk about people that enter into a depression or enter into that low. You kind of get used to that pattern. You get used to those feelings. You get used to that cycle. You focus on the problems. What Devon and I are trying to do is focus on the solutions, focus on the people that we love to see their successes, and have them talk about the failures because they had them too. And you
Right.
get to that higher level by continuing to get up every day and do those things, just like 100 hours a year, right?
Yep.
18 minutes a day. If we focus on something, that's where our energy and that's where our attention goes. And if we give it the right doses of input and positivity, we can create more, right? So, Devon, we decided today that we would dive into each other.
Yes.
So, what I'd like to start with today
Okay.
is my co host, Devon Pinches, and part of her journey, right? Devon, you've been and have worn and still wear many hats. Um,
Yes.
Today, your hat is only a microphone and a headset, but that's okay. It looks great.
Thank
Um,
you.
and something as simple as how we do and what we do is influenced by what we've already been through, right?
Absolutely.
And part of what I've learned just this week about Devon is that she has a degree in criminology
Yes.
and had
Yep.
a focus or a dream to be part of a very elite team. And that has changed through the years. Um,
Absolutely.
but I want you to share with me one of the things that you used to hold as one of your biggest dreams or visions, and who it was that you were going to work for.
Yes, yes. Okay. So as you preface saying, I earned my criminology degree and have yet to use it in a professional capacity. And one of my dreams at the time was to pursue a career for the British police because I lived in England for many, many years.
Right.
So I decided to make that jump and try to qualify to gain entry into the British police. However, I missed the entry requirements by a couple marks, by a couple points, and I was devastated at the time. And although it was a setback, it did teach me valuable lessons in resilience and the importance of pursuing multiple avenues in my career. And if I didn't get that no at the time from the British police, that wouldn't have led me here to South Florida and what I'm doing now with works as the membership director of the platform. So it's really funny how life turns out in ways that you didn't expect. So that setback, that no, turned into something pretty beautiful.
Well, you actually decided to fly the coop in part of your next realm, right? Didn't you decide to see the world and get paid to do it?
I've led so many lives, Tom. It's quite funny. But yes, so I successfully secured a position with British Airways, a role that I managed to hold for over 2 years. And during that time, I traveled the world and gained invaluable life experiences and was able to develop really a strong sense of cultural awareness and adaptability, which continues to benefit me both personally and professionally today. It was a wild adventure, and one that I'm very grateful that I was able to take up.
So now, of all the places you've been,
Yes.
where has your favorite place been and why?
Singapore.
Really?
Yes, the flight itself was very intense. It was about 13 hours.
Okay.
But the reason why it's one of my favorite places is the people are so friendly and so welcoming. Um, the the culture is phenomenal, very family orientated. The food is divine, and just getting to experience that different level of culture and people from England or even America for that matter, it was pretty amazing. So I would have to say Singapore.
That's awesome. So, Devon, you've gone from, wanting to pursue criminology and,
Yes.
being an enforcer, right?
Yes,
To, the flying around and having a home base, but still being able to travel quite a bit. Now
absolutely.
you've relocated to Florida
Yes,
and are doing so many things. Now you're helping realtors and mortgage professionals go to the
absolutely.
next level to learn how to use those tools
Right,
and
right.
how to expand. Now you're a co host on a podcast that is just gaining popularity, and we're doing this as a way to spread our message, right,
Yes,
of hope, of
absolutely.
positivity, rising and elevating together. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited to be able to share that with you. And we kind of feel like when we share these failures or these successes, right? We don't know where they're going to take us next,
Absolutely. I mean,
right?
you never know.
And it's the next step that if you don't take that step, you'll never know where it'll go. So the
Absolutely.
fear shouldn't hold us back.
I
Those
bel
butterflies.
Yeah, no, and I believe that it's healthy to go out of your comfort zone, right? Because it
Mhm.
allows you to adapt and perform under pressure. I know you and I, when we discussed starting this podcast, right? And one of the first things you said was, Devin, I want to do it live. How do you feel about that? And my reaction was, no, let's record it so I can edit and then it'll appear live. And then, after talking with you at greater length, I decided to hop on that bandwagon and do it live. So these are live in person and things can go wrong and things can go right, but you helped me get out of my comfort zone, and I am forever grateful for that, Tom.
Well, I think that comfort level goes higher and becomes different as we go through these challenges, right? The more we
Absolutely.
challenge ourselves, just like our muscles, if you
Yes.
train in the gym and you work out, the muscles get bigger. Our
Yes.
mind, our vision, our expectations change as we challenge ourselves.
Right.
Just like going out, and one of the things that I'm so proud to have shared with my kids is hiking out in Yosemite National Park and going to the top of Half Dome and
That's
challenging
huge.
that elevation and those cables and the weather and the elements and the waterfalls and just nature. It's so vast and so powerful,
Yes.
and by doing that, I feel like now I'm ready for the next challenge. I'm ready for that. I'm an adventurer by spirit,
Yes.
right? And I
Yes.
always want to try and challenge to do more. And that's the exciting thing. Those butterflies, as we started talking about before, that anxiety, anticipation can also be perceived as excitement. The physiologic response is still the same. You get the sweaty palms,
Yeah.
right? You get nervous, you get that
Absolutely. The
anxiety.
butterflies. Yep.
Yes, right. So I think that's powerful. So, we had, when we started today,
Hmm.
we had a little bit of an issue with sound, right?
Yes.
We figured it out. Actually, Devon figured it out, and it was on my end, and I connected, and now we're all good. But as a team, we're evolving and growing and learning.
So, Tom, speaking of, evolving, learning, and growing, you shared with me that you also have led, many different lives at certain points, right?
Yeah,
And one of those things was, before the mortgage industry, you had the ability to pursue your mechanical engineering degree, but did not complete it. Am I
yeah,
am I correct in that?
that's
So,
right.
may I ask, when did you realize that that path might not be the right fit for you?
Well, Devon, I think there was a couple things that happened.
Okay.
And one of them was I wasn't mature enough to be away from home. And at school at Drexel, I was engaged in many things. I was
Okay.
in Army ROTC, I was Ranger Company,
Oh,
I was on the
wow.
varsity crew team, I pledged
Okay.
Theta Chi fraternity,
Oh, lovely.
I met people from around the world.
Okay.
And then, after all of those things, school and education and engineering were last.
Right.
And what I really needed to do was invert that.
Okay.
And after 2 years, I learned a lot, but it wasn't
Absolutely.
where I needed to be or wanted to be. So I
Okay.
took some time off. I traveled out to Colorado. I got a
Oh,
job working for Club Med as a breakfast cook, and
oh
I
my
skied
goodness.
105 days that one winter. And it was game changing for me because I was supposed to go with someone else.
Right.
They canceled last minute, and
Wow.
I still went. And what it did was it opened my eyes to being independent. It opened my eyes to knowing that you can do just about anything if you focus on it. And I decided to come back after that wonderful experience to go back to school for physical therapy. And I graduated with honors. I
I
paid for it
love that.
myself this time. And I
Huge.
treated in the physical therapy world for 6 years. And I helped
Amazing.
thousands of people improve their quality of life physically.
Okay.
And it was a great career path, but I felt like there were some other things that were still out there,
Okay.
right? And I got introduced to the mortgage world and I've never looked back. So I'm now over 25 years in the mortgage business. I've helped
Amazing.
thousands of people become homeowners to improve their quality of life financially. And that kind of the math and the science behind engineering and physical therapy
Right.
is higher level math,
Okay.
and the math of mortgages is a little simpler, a little bit
Right.
more about ratios and
Yes.
LTVs. And these are the kind of things that came easy to me. So I'm fortunate enough to be a chameleon or to change directions. And what I've learned is those changes help us to grow. So I've grown in many different ways, and I've learned a lot about the body. I've learned a lot about math and science and the physical world and some of the basics of engineering that
Okay.
relate to the physical therapy world, that
Right.
relate to everything else that we do, and help me to understand my own body with injury and recovery, and helping to do that. And as having kids that went through sports,
Yes.
helping them to get to a different position
Okay.
and helping them go through college. Now, those kind of things all come together. So it's part of who we are. So I was excited about being able to do all of those different things.
So speaking of, physical and sports, there is something that you do, which is, I think, one of the coolest things about you personally. And you do it with your father. Would
Yeah.
you mind touching on that a little bit? Because I believe people need to know this.
Yes. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to drive a top alcohol dragster that my
Okay.
father and I built together, and we race on the NHRA circuit. I've been fortunate enough to go as fast as 276 miles an hour from a standing stop
Oh
in
my goodness.
5.19 seconds.
Okay.
And it is amazing. The adrenaline is just intense. And we just last year won the ATCO regional event, which is my
Woo!
home track, where we first debuted the Annie Mac Cash to Keys top alcohol dragster. And
Yes.
we were able to go from someone that was a competitor to someone that was a winner. And that's a lot of time and a lot of focus. When you talk about time, the whole entire race, I was actually in the car and driving a total of 12 minutes. And that encompassed 6 rounds of competition through qualifying and eliminations into the final. And the focus during that time is immense, but it's hundreds of hours that just get you to those minutes. So the ability to put thousands of pieces together, to be able to tune them, to be able to put them all together, to be able to make them work flawlessly, has really given me the ability to know that there is something more that you can do. And when you do that, I know that there's almost nothing that we can't accomplish if we truly dedicate our
Right.
mind, our body, our time. Are we
Absolutely.
willing to sacrifice, right? I
Mm.
think it was Michael Jordan that said, I've won more than most because I've lost more than most. I kept shooting,
Wow.
I kept practicing, and he's one of the greatest of all time in basketball. And he's missed so many shots, and he didn't even make his high school basketball team. And yet he
I never
went
knew
to,
that.
yes. So he eventually did, after being turned away and practicing and training and coming back, and he grew into his body and he became a physical specimen. But
Right.
he sharpened his mind to accept or find that journey. I think we need to be able to see the vision. We need to be able to make it happen. Are we strong enough to commit the time and energy to make it happen? That's the question,
It's a big
right?
question.
You know, are we willing to do what it takes to win? And that's really what it comes down to. I've tried to teach my children that you need to work really hard for what you want. And,
Absolutely. It's
those
not
are the
handed to
things.
you.
Yeah. Not, so the people that are given these things, they don't value them as much,
Mm. Mm.
right? And the harder you work for something, the more it means. And I'm sure that there are things that you took away in the training for trying to be part of the British police that stick with you today, right?
Absolutely. It was a great opportunity to, be in a room with, others who worked so hard to get into that room, and we all had one goal, and that was to join the police. It's just giving me a different perspective on things. I mean, I get asked now when people find out I, wanted to qualify for the police in England, would I do it here in the States? And the answer to that is no. just because it's a different ball game over here versus England, right? There's a few differences. But my career path now and the energy and love and happiness I put into this in the real estate and mortgage industry, and hopefully making a difference when it comes to, informing mortgage professionals how to build mutually beneficial relationships with true value add. I'm happy I'm in it. It's been a whirlwind. I've been in this industry now for going on 5 years. I've learned
Right.
so much. I continue to learn and,
Yeah.
continue to push myself to make myself better. Like you said, hard work, right? You have to dedicate time, effort, mentally and even
Hmm.
physically for something you want.
Right. So, Devin, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I'm going to put
Here
it
we
out.
go.
So, Devin and I had also shared another thought about saying that in 3 years' time.
Yes.
So, I'm putting it out here on live feed
Okay.
that we,
Accountability. Here we
that,
go.
that we would like to be on stage and
Yes.
be able to share our message motivationally, positivity, and being able to help people rise and elevate on stage and share this message around the country in person, not just on podcasts. So I'd like to personally challenge you, Devin,
Okay,
to
I'm ready.
help me and help you make that happen. What do you say to that?
I say yes. I
Okay.
truly believe we can make it happen. We are dedicated to this, dedicated to the cause, dedicated to one another.
Right.
And I think with, again, time, effort, hard work, we will do it. And I'm excited.
Yes. So, Devin, we might have to do our next podcast
Okay.
in September live from Maple Grove Raceway in Pennsylvania when I'll be
I would
competing at the Pep Boys Nationals race on the NHRA circuit. What do you think about that?
I think that is huge. I would love to do that.
All right, so let's make that happen. So
Okay.
we normally do the podcast. I'm in New Jersey right now, and
Yes.
Devin's in Florida.
Yes.
Right now, I don't know if Devin could make it up to Pennsylvania for this or not, but we'll have to talk about that offline.
Okay.
But we can certainly do that. What we're doing here from the Maple Grove Raceway in Pennsylvania, and I'm going to, now that I'm announcing it to everyone, I'm going to start putting those wheels in motion to do it live from the tower, um, the timing tower at Maple Grove Raceway.
I think that is a wonderful idea, a great opportunity, and also gives us the ability to adapt, right?
Yes.
Sometimes we're not going to be virtual. Sometimes we'll have the opportunity to do it in a different space with
Right.
people live, and I think that's great, Tom.
All right. Well, so now I've put it out there. Now I need to make it happen. So
Yes.
this whole accountability thing, Devin, is really powerful because I tell you what, one of the things that I've always been so proud of is that ability to adapt, the
Yes.
ability to kind of do things on the fly, that flexibility. But sometimes the commitment to a time and a place help us to focus. So
Yes.
I'm going to use that as a way to focus. I'm going to connect with the powers that be at the NHRA,
Okay.
and we're going to try and see if we can have a super special guest for the racing community to help share this message
That
of
would be
rising and elevating.
huge. I think that's a
So,
wonderful idea.
yes, I already have someone in mind, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I'm really proud to say that we've committed to one another, and that we
Yes.
started to share this message, and that we've started to kind of share a little bit of who we are and where we've gone, right? And one of the things that I've also learned about Devin is that she loves her pet Tito.
Tito the Yorkshire Terrier.
Yes, I hear he's a real terror.
He actually is. No, he is. He is 1 year old. And my mom's nickname for him is TT, Tiny Terror.
Okay. All right.
He's well behaved, but he has what I call a crazy 5 minutes. You know when dogs just get so excited and so happy they do laps around the house.
Yes, yes.
That's what he does around like 9 o'clock at night when it's time to settle. Have a cup of tea, get ready for your nighttime routine. It's party time for Tito.
Well,
Which given his name, I mean, what did I
yes.
expect?
Well, my daughter, when she was younger, we used to call it her bewitching hour.
Yeah.
So around 7 o'clock at night, she would get this burst of energy and she would run around just like that. And we had two cats at the time. So the cats would just go bonkers and she
Yeah.
would run around and she would be this ball of energy. And then it would come crashing down and she could go to sleep just fine.
And
So,
exactly.
Tito and Alyssa share those same treats.
Share
So
those qualities.
yeah, so my pet is Archie. Um,
Archie.
he is a Labradoodle,
Oh,
and
adorable.
yes, just a great. They don't shed; they're hypoallergenic, but they do need to be groomed like every 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So it's an extra duty. But Archie has those emotional outbursts like you're sharing when I come home. And it's like, he's
Oh,
got to run and he's got to grab his toy and he grabs it and he comes and brings it to me so that he shows me that here I am and I've got my toy.
yeah, I've got
Um,
you a treat. I love
yes,
that.
yeah. So, you know what? They help us to kind of settle, they help us to kind of be present, right? And I think that's so
Absolutely.
important in what we're doing. So, as a episode number 3 podcast,
Yes.
I'd like to thank Devon for being my co host, for being my teammate, for using this as a platform to share messages of hope, positivity, right? For us to also hold each other accountable in what we do.
Absolutely.
And I'm proud of what we're starting. Only 3 episodes in, we have so much more to do and so much more to
Yes.
share. And I want to say thank you. It's with a position of gratitude that it makes me feel more full to be able to share these moments with you and also to be able to share them with others.
Absolutely. I think, Tom, you and I talk on the phone more often than not, right? Like a little
Yeah,
catch up, what's the game plan for the podcast, each other's lives, etc.
right.
And we really are connected on a different level where we're able to just express ourselves
Yeah.
professionally, personally, and we are cheerleaders for one another, accountability partners,
Mhm.
podcast hosts.
Yes.
And it's nice to see that, something that was just spoken about became an idea and then became, a reality. And hopefully, like you said, in September, we're in Pennsylvania doing this live in front of people, and I'm excited, Tom. So thank you for being you.
Awesome. Well, Devin, with that, we're going to wrap up episode number 3 of
Woo!
Rise and Elevate. And everybody have a great day. And remember, if you can see it, if you can dream it, if you can vision it, it can happen.
Thank you, Tom. Bye bye, everyone.